All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. I got this special individual here today. I'm very excited to have him here today. Mr. Richard, thank you so much for having the time to be able to come over here today.
Always.
So much to talk about, so little bit of time. We're going to make the best happen to lecture everybody the correct way and letting them a little bit more, have a little more experience towards crypto and economy and how everything kind of functions nowadays. So as far as that goes, my account is actually, it was super down. It's finally up again, and lately I just been just setting and forget. I basically just go ahead and I buy a whole bunch of coins, and I'm just literally, I don't even want to look at it, and I'm just trying to scope it as the long view instead of seeing it as a partial view. There's a lot of individuals that are doing way different things nowadays towards this economy because we have to see what we could be able to leverage ourselves towards this economy. But how do you see crypto as far as popping up nowadays, man, in your point of view?
Well, definitely, like you say, there's a shift in people are setting it and leaving it, not using the DeFi as much because, I mean, let's face it, you can't really be in liquidity pools if your coin is going down.
Pretty much.
You're just going to get the impermanent loss. But I've seen some pretty intelligent people switch to doing like leverage trading. And there's certain platforms you can do that with, and they've actually been playing off of the shorts, shorting certain crypto stocks just like a normal, or I'm sorry, crypto coins just like a normal stock. And it's actually turned out pretty cool. So it's interesting to watch that shift in how you've actually been watching their plays to kind of switch it up too.
Yeah, well, crypto is growing on a daily basis. I see these ATM machines everywhere now. I see them in every gas station, every convenience store, where basically you could be able to go to any machine and just deposit it some funds to be able to buy any crypto coin that you would like to buy.
So you're purchasing things with it, or you're buying the crypto from these places?
Well, I'm buying it from my separate apps. I'm just saying in general, it is growing because to be able to see these ATMs in any local convenience store is actually like something is going on that we're not noticing. I always bought in all my coins and like local apps, like Kraken is one of my favorite ones. But I see them growing everywhere, and I'm just to a point I'm like, wow, this is actually becoming a thing. So with that being said, I'm just trying to scope what the long view is towards crypto and where this economy is going. Now, lately I've been doing like a lot of trading back and forth with options. And I see, like how you mentioned to me, there's people now shorting coins and upping coins, which is, I see a lot of people benefiting off it. Have you, recognized like kind of what I'm...
Well, I've seen that happen, but anything's a gamble, so it's hard to tell when it's going to go back up. And that's why literally like the biggest suggestion is watching all the main news that's going on. As we all know, with the new president, everything's just wild, and the world is, acting differently each time something new happens. So it's exciting to see that.
Yeah, I do. What I've been doing lately is I will see this brand new coin that just came out, and I will just go ahead and add maybe 100, 200 bucks into it because I know it's going to grow. These new coins usually grow from one thing to the other, and then they just kind of start dumping slowly by little. But I try to kind of keep advantage of like these new coins nowadays. They come out, maybe they have no background history, but it's just everything goes up. Sometimes it dumps, so you could take advantage.
Well, that's one thing maybe I could ask you is, where do you find a new coin that comes out? Are you just going and refreshing any of these new dexes and seeing if something new came out, or like what are you doing?
That's one way of doing it. Also, when you see a brand new coin that came out on Kraken, that's a new coin that's probably been well established. That just got established just maybe within a week or so. You could basically see the Venn diagram of when it kind of opened up. And I usually just go into these brand new coins and I just invest in the money. I'm like, you know what? Let me just try it out.
Yeah.
Obviously, maybe I might not know too much history towards the coin, but I will see that it's a well coin that's came out, and it's not usually something that comes out in Kraken. It's a well established coin.
So you're not getting it in the other markets before it reaches that place.
That's where I'm kind of getting into now. There's an app that I'm gonna look into it now. I call it like the shitcoin app, where you could be able to see all the brand new well established coins that just came out, that are penny coins, cents coins. Those are the ones you got to really really be scared of. But those are the ones that usually have the most rewarding if you really see it at the end of the day, because it's just, imagine just putting $1 into a coin, and I don't know where it hits. You got a coin at a cent, and now I don't know where it hits $5. So,
I mean, that's a wild thing. But I'll show you one thing I've been using is X Magnetic. Have you ever heard of X Magnetic?
No, explain to me a little bit more.
It's on the XRPL ledger. And so if you guys want to check it out, it's called X Magnetic. But basically, you can get meme coins on there, and it's a gamble too, but you can do what you say and refresh and see if something's new, and you can sort from like new to old, and you can take the gamble, like you say, what's $200, like the goal is to, on that sense, my goal was to just basically get more of the native coin, which was XRP. So it's one of my strategies, is many people's strategy. It's just called like traditional scalping.
Right.
You're basically just trading your coin for the new meme coin, hopefully it rises, then switching back for more of yours.
That's one way of doing it. Obviously in that app, it's a little bit of shit coins, like how we mentioned. But once it comes up to like an actual professional application, like Kraken, anything can dump at any given moment, which is totally understandable. We both understand that. But there's times when I seen that well-established coin just came out to Kraken, and out of nowhere, it's a well-known coin to a point where it was worthy enough to be in that application.
Well, that's what's interesting you say that, because this specific site, there's a threshold or a limit you reach of 50K in your total volume,
Okay.
and once you hit that 50K mark, then it releases it to those other markets.
Right.
And so you can basically put your money on the people that are into the coin themselves. They're going to want, if it's sitting at that 30 to 40 mark, they're going to keep putting money until it hits that 50 mark.
100%.
And then it's going to just grow even more. So that's what's happened with a few of them. But again, everything's a gamble. You got to constantly be watching their socials. You got to be watching general news. Anything that typically affects Bitcoin will affect others. Now that's changed a little bit with XRP. A little bit.
Right.
Some late news has said that Bitcoin has kind of separated from the dependence of XRP,
Right.
Or XRP has separated from the dependence of Bitcoin, as far as like just when one goes down, it goes down with it. So
Right.
that is changing a little from what I've read in the past few weeks.
I know that you're a big fan of XRP, and you were actually one of the first individuals that told me about XRP. I did invest in XRP. I profited at a good margin. I still have XRP because I believe that XRP will hit the next level of literally seeing that bull run go up and down, But as far as that goes, everything does go up and down, but it's a well-established coin that will get there. I don't know when, I don't know how, but it will definitely get there. We had this run that came up like the past week or so. Everything was up. I think Bitcoin hit 104, 105. So that was pretty amazing. So, because it was everything was like such in a dumping rate that we were trying to understand what was going on with society. But it's nice to kind of see all these coins from one day to other just ranch up again and have everybody understand why crypto still exists, because it's gotten up to a point where everything's been on a dumping range that people are not really seeing the full capacity of what these coins can be able to reach in the next couple of years.
Well, that you actually bring up one of the main things that I actually started getting into crypto for, is like the utility of the coin. XRP, for instance, as we all know, is for cross-border payments. And how great is it to like be able to avoid some of these fees that come with some transferring money?
Yes.
Especially living in Miami, you have so many people that are in different countries that are working here that
Yep.
they don't want to pay TransUnion fees for sending their family back money. So you present a way like XRP that it's almost instantaneous, and it costs virtually nothing. I mean, that's a huge benefit.
It's a huge benefit because imagine, usually wiring some type of money nowadays can take maybe from a couple of days, maybe it's 24 hours, maybe it takes a little couple hours, but from sending 4 or 5 million from 1 second to the other, and it just hits your account in seconds.
Yeah,
That's the power of XRP, and that's what we're looking for to benefit off it in the next couple of years, if it attempts to get to that sort of level of respect towards the coin. XRP is one of my favorite ones. Reason why is because it's like I saw it kind of grow like from nothing to something, and now it's finally something where we could probably see, okay, yeah, you know what, XRP does exist, But I saw it right from the get. I had a couple of friends, including yourself, that told me about it. But we are here to say in the road, just trying to understand where all these coins are heading.
I still go back to the utility. So one of the things I'm really excited about is the tokenization aspect of all the coins. So the blockchain is so amazing to see how how it can actually transactions are transparent. Everything is on there, and it's great to see real world assets be able to be tokenized. And it's
100%.
really exciting to see investors be able to invest on some of these tokenized assets that maybe a percentage, like you could invest a percentage of a home or a percentage of a commercial building with some of your friends and really have that blockchain transaction security.
Yeah, it's so nice to see you like really have so much knowledge. Just because I seen you a couple years ago reading the books before he started even investing in crypto.
That was last November.
Yeah,
I've only been reading those since last November.
But you had the mindset in through a couple years of finally getting into it, and you literally read all the books. You did from lecture to lecture, and you were even every time I run into you, you'd be like, "Oh my God, can you believe that we could do this? We could do that?" And it's so incredible to have a special individual like you sitting next to me, and you know, so there's so much knowledge that
it's so cool. It's so exciting to see as the world changes and the technology changes. You know, so does the way that we can use all of this stuff, and so does the less dependent on the government. That's the biggest thing, man. Everybody is so tired of giving our hard-earned money away, and everyone wants to pay their fair share of taxes and everything, but there's also things that we don't necessarily want the government to know or everything about, and some kind of changes we want. You know, some people believe that crypto should be treated somewhat like gambling. If you go to a casino,
Right.
you know, instead of like being taxed on every single little trade, you know, if you got stuff in the market, you're losing too, just as much as you're winning. So like, let's just tax people a fair amount when they cash out, you know, let's not worry about all of the in between, because you just end up taking people's money from, you know. So
well,
that's what's interesting.
Well, the system
See how it
sometimes is created here. The system here, it's a long topic to talk about, but the system with what's going on now, we're all trying to benefit, and that's the main thing. We're all trying to benefit from what we could be able to get our hands on. You guys have to, at least, my point of view is, get at least a couple cents every other day and just throw it into these little coins, maybe $5 to $10 every other week, every month, and you will definitely see a benefit in the next couple of years. If you know, it's just something to see in the long term. It's not something that's just to put money in and then you're gonna, profit maybe a week from now. You have to kind of stick to it, and it will benefit you if you really kind of see this.
So you would consider yourself more of a hodler, so to speak. So you grab them and hold on and wait for it to rise, and then
Well, usually what I have a couple profiles, but one of my main ones is my actual well-established coins: Solana, Ethereum, XRP. I actually bought a couple of Bitcoin the other day because I feel like it's gonna hit 200. And then I have the other profile, which is like the shit coins, which is the coins that I see very established that they're gonna go ahead and hit. One of the ones that I've been sticking more to AI coins, just because I feel like AI,
they got the utility.
And it's gonna be the new world.
Well, you know what I would like to know from you, since you come from, trading currencies, foreign exchange. How does that? I don't want to say compare, but like in a sense, what are your strategies that differ within crypto and doing your foreign exchange?
Well, the Forex exchange, it's one of the programs that moves more money than all the markets. And I've been learning about it, how I mentioned to you, and I'm finally getting my mind to it. I see all my friends that are making disgusting money every other day, and I'm just like, wow, like, how are you guys doing this? And it's just, it's way better than trading options and trading anything else.
So what's the main currencies they're trading? Like US dollar against like what? Like what's an example of what that would be?
You could trade USD with Euro.
And okay.
So for example, the other day, the dollar lost value. Our dollar lost value. Why does it lose value? Because we're daily printing money on a constant basis. And countries are not accepting our dollar bill no more because they want gold. Because they just see that we could print this out from one day to the other, and they don't feel like they're really getting their money's worth for whatever trade they're trying to do. But it did lose value the other day. I knew that the euro was gonna go up, so that's one of my trades that my buddy did. He put a trade in for the euro within the day, and sure enough, I think he came out profiting. I think it was like $4,800.
Wow.
On something that cost him about $328.
Well, that's a pretty big return.
So it's a big return. It's a big gamble. It's a very big gamble because at least with options, if you want to sell the car the next day, you can. And
Oh, you have
so,
to hold on to that for a specific amount of time?
well, usually you would have to you could close at any given moment you want to close, but it's a way deeper loss if you don't really stick to it.
Mm.
Because it's kind of saying this is gonna go down, this is gonna go up, and if it goes down, then it goes down. If it goes up, if it doesn't go towards your way, then it might not work for you. This is something that we have to kind of learn about. It's not something you could just jump into from one day to the other, because some people can lose money. Nobody wants to lose money, but to having the power, like the willpower to understand what you're doing to a point that you could lose money, you might not lose money, but you're seeing the longer view of benefit offing this. There's millions of traders nowadays, making millions of dollars. There's every day there's becoming a new millionaire every single day, and multiple. It's just
Lots
not
of
one or two.
opportunity.
And we're in the section now. We're in the opportunity where we could be able to make that happen if we really put our minds to it. They don't teach us this in school for some sort of reason. Maybe if the teachers were to understand a little bit more about the market, they won't be a teacher. But then again, we need teachers all over this world. You know, we need all types of, you know, we need garbage can pickers, we need teachers, we need everybody. So I just want to do this video just so for you guys can understand that there is a way out if you really stick to making the best possible way of growing towards crypto. Now, with that being said, Mr. Rich, what are you seeing happening in the next 2 to 3 years towards the cryptocurrency?
Well, I think it's going to be accepted by more and more countries. It's going to be, as you can see, all of the super rich people in BlackRock and countries, everybody is buying Bitcoin like it's crazy. So I definitely see that with all the hype, you know, Bitcoin's going to go high. Now, I don't know, is it going to reach 500,000? I mean, who knows? You know, I think a lot of that is going to have to do with what happens with all of the stuff going on in the world, man. You know, if the world settles down and people start to become a little more comfortable, the reality is that people are very unsure of what's going on. And so for that reason, people are holding on and not getting into more plays that are maybe a little bit more risky. Maybe that, you know, the risk management is higher than it normally is, maybe, you know, so because they don't know what the next thing is going to happen. You know, is China going to keep the tariffs going? Is there going to be, you know, something else that happens? Because the world really isn't shocking anymore. I think you can hear just about anything and be like, oh, okay, what are we going to do now about it?
Yeah.
So
Now, yeah.
I think that it's really, for me to even speculate is kind of like kind of dumb. Like I can't even speculate. I don't even know what's going to happen. I just kind of, there's a percentage of my crypto that I like to play with regardless, and then there's a percentage that you just like let ride. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And in the end, it's not your money that you're dependent on for your rent. I got a job. Everybody's got work. This is extra stuff until you hit it big. That's it. And one day you might get lucky. The name of the game is a lot of it goes lucky. To tell a quick story, XRP just the other day, I saw it was going up. Now it's been down and down and down. And so, I'm sorry, Solana. It's been down and down and down. And it was finally up to 180. So finally, I'm like, you know, I just think it's going to go down. This stuff isn't over yet with the tariffs. It's going to go down again. So it was at 180. So I decided, well, let's go ahead and get rid of some of it because it's probably going to go down. So I got rid of some of it. And then, sure enough, it went down. And it went down $20. So I was able to buy it today back. And I didn't make a lot. That's the thing, too. Suggestions as a novice crypto trader, whatever you want to call me, you don't go for gold, you know. You can't be greedy. Take the small wins. The small wins is what builds up, you know. But so in one day I earned 1 Solana. Like that's a good win.
That's a good win.
You know what I mean?
Like
no, I didn't earn $5,000. I didn't earn that. But who cares, man?
A win is a win.
It's a win's a win, and you got to keep that consistent. And yeah, that's my only suggestion, man. Is don't get greedy.
Yeah, when I first got into this market, I was like, I want to make all the money in the world. And I started losing a lot of money because what was happening was I was just getting my small little gainage and thinking like it was nothing to a point where I want to hit hard. I want to hit big. First year, I wasn't profitable. I did have my stocks. I did have some crypto that I was holding down. but I wasn't really profitable in the first year just because I was doing all these crazy moves, thinking that I'm gonna become rich from one day to the other. So what I'm doing now, I'm just taking it as a win, as a win. I just closed a trade out in Nike. I did an option call for Nike, and it dropped maybe like 2 or 3%. I think I won like $58. I could have left it open, but you know, I just closed it and I collect my gains.
But the
And
thing is, each time you evaluate, make a decision, and it's a
costing you.
success, that is building in like your your toolbox, those tricks up your sleeve. You're like, oh, I remember how to do that one trade now, and I wasn't too greedy with it. I got out early. You remember your thought process, so you're not like, because we all go there and be like, oh damn, what if I make it big? You know what I mean? But you got to just like take it calm, step back a little bit, pump the brakes a little bit, and let's just take a small win and call it a day.
Collect the wins and just keep it moving. It is nice that we are getting everything well established nowadays. Like, people are learning more about crypto. People are understanding.
Bula to everybody.
Bula.
Bula. Cheers to you, my friend.
Thank you.
Here you go, right there.
There you go, my friend. There you go. We are definitely going to see a lot of growth within the next year. We got Mr. Trump over here helping us out here and there. He talks about something about crypto, and it skyrockets.
There's so much.
It's very important when he brings out these conversations in the news, just because it really does a big impact, and his word means a lot to a lot of certain individuals, to a point where he himself has millions of dollars put in crypto.
Well, his whole meme coin, his whole family has meme coins.
Meme coin. I see all these big wealth.
The Baron coin, Melania coin.
Exactly.
I had a guy that lost a lot of money on that. That's my first trade, was when the Trump trade come out. Yep. That was my very first trade, and I had 12 Solana, and literally it was raining that night. I saw a friend, and he was buying some, and the only reason I thought it was legit because Trump actually posted it on his own X account. So I'm like, oh, let me try to figure it out. I hadn't even done a trade yet, so I'm like, I know I have this in my Phantom wallet. Let me try to flip it out. So I just flipped out 10 of them, and so I took the small win. The next day it went up to I got it at 8. It went up to 70. I started to go down, and I got rid of it at 50. I had a buddy put all his money and made a bunch of money. Had almost 200 grand, and then the next day Baron comes out, and of course he dumps it all into there, thinking the same thing's gonna happen, and he's gonna be the next Miami crypto millionaire, dude. And so then he lost it, and now he's all sad, So it's like that's where the greed comes in, man. You gotta just,
Right. That's what I've been doing lately
taper
with these shit coins that come out. I don't really like investing too much in these coins, just because you got to be on top of them. Like, oh my God, what's gonna happen next? Is it like a well-established coin that I should keep for the long run? On these well-established coins that I have no knowledge towards, I just buy, let it go up, sell, and tomorrow's
That's
another
the thing,
day.
man. You got to figure out a point to sell. If you can ride it the first 24 hours and get rid of it, like those are the
hits, and those are the runs.
Yeah,
You hit really nice for that Trump coin.
Oh,
You
that was
hit.
the luck. It was luck, dude. I was walking out of a different kava bar actually in Miami Beach there, and it was raining. I just looked over at my friends saying, "Hey, what are you doing?" Okay, what are you? Trump came out of the coin. It's like I was like one of those, Mighty Mouse or something, doing a little turn and then running my car.
Right.
It was raining. I'm like, hit my hot spot up. I can do this. So then I did it in the rain in my car, dude. That was awesome.
That's pretty awesome, man. That's
man.
Pretty awesome. But in throughout that, man, I know you have a lot going on. I do appreciate you being over here with us. You sharing everybody like your nice, fine knowledge. Thank you so much for watching. Mr. Richard, thank you so much for having me over here, sir.
Yeah, man.
And you being here in our video. And once again, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Keep seeing more of these wonderful videos.